Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ando, and sorry that you're only going to hear my voice, but I'm still moving, so we have to make do with this. So yeah, I haven't made too many videos, like I said, because I've been moving and just been focused on that. I'm currently like holding my mic. I don't really even have a camera, so just doing what we can. But got a good opponent from 501st Battalion. I love that guild name. Named Trulon, and he's pretty good. He's actually lower GP than myself, and that I think is because of the Datacron punch up that he's doing. So on defense, looks like we got DR with Nest trying to make it anti-troopable. Looks like we got CLS here, kind of an interesting choice. We got an Iden here, and I think this is actually a really good Datacron for her. I think if it had some potency on it, it'd be really good. Try to stop the Wampas. And then we had a Scoundrel Jam down there. And then we've got Dash here, an Omni Dash. And they put some Scoundrels in there. And it's kind of smart, some anti-healing and big hits from Boba. I wouldn't necessarily think that that's actually the best Datacron for gas. The Hellsteel probably helps a little bit for gas, I guess, when he stands up, but if they're using CLS, it doesn't really matter. Now this definitely helps a lot. There's a lot of times that there's 2 dispellable buffs on First Order, so that definitely scared me. And then again with Ray here, that one didn't scare me that much. So overall, some decent Omicrons, and then I decided to go check and see what the health or the offense on the Ray. Pretty well modded. It's R9, so it's going to have that boost to offense. And yeah, I think, and yeah, you can see there was close to 13,000 offense. So that scared me for my C. And so I decided to kind of break this into a JML match. And so yeah, while this one goes, guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and give the classic plug. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you guys get the like and then comment on it. I did decide to give an Omicron to or a Datacron to JML to give him a little extra protection, so that way that true damage hit would hit a little bit harder. But yeah, I don't know. Datacrons are an interesting thing. I haven't gotten to talk to you guys, the subscribers and the people that watch the videos, because I haven't gotten to stream or do videos since, I think it's probably been close to a month now, which is crazy. I decided to go with ability block here first. It's a little bit of a risk if it doesn't land on Resistance Hero Finn or Ray. It can kind of prolong the battle or make it a little bit more difficult. Go ahead and call in shock, so that way I clear the taunt, and kind of want to start landing damage on Ray. I did decide to go after Resistance Hero Finn because I thought that I could one-shot him at this level. And if I remember right, I do. So here it is. Yes. All right. Even with the deflection, we didn't need the damage. We just killed him straight up. So that's great. And really the name of the game is to try to get Ray into damage immunity before her ult with this counter. And this counter's pretty old, so I'm not going to spend too much time explaining all the ins and outs of it. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably seen this 500 times. So I will continue to explain where we are in the moving process so you guys know. Basically we're living in an apartment, so yeah, if you hear my son just screaming in the background or something, you'll know why. And then I think August time frame, I should be moving into our actual rental home. But yeah, we've been, in case you didn't know, I guess I should probably start off this way. In case you didn't know, yeah, we moved from Alaska. We did a cross-country trip. And so yeah, it's been really hectic. It's been really busy, but it's been good at the same time. So I saved the ult here once she's in ult, so for a few reasons, but mostly so that way I can get my refreshes on cooldowns. So now I can re-heal with shock if I choose to or whatever, or if for whatever reason you prematurely use the revive with Jolie, that ult would reset it. So here we go, we can revive Yoda again, and just like that got a team of 5 again. So at this point, if you have like the Hoda variant, there's definitely ways for you to get pretty much the max banners. With this variant, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think your average banner is going to be around 61 or 62. So yeah, it's pretty difficult to time it out, especially it's weird because like with the R9, it actually makes it harder to get better banners because you kill them off so quick. So that would have been in 61. It was my first battle. So thank you. You can hear my son now. Okay, so CLS again. I'm not really afraid of this one, and especially with it being R7 and R8 gas and 5s. If this was both R9s, I would play it a little bit differently, but going after gas is pretty easy. It makes it to where Rex doesn't really get a shot to do his turn meter up, and that really makes it to where Echo can't stun both C3PO and Chupio. And if you have enough tenacity on them, typically it doesn't work anyways, but there's always the 15% chance that it does, and then you're in trouble. So once gas is down, you go in all in on 5s and give them the uppercut. And sometimes I'm able to just one-shot him. This wasn't one of those times with that Chupio AoE. And so here it is. So we did get a daze on us. I'm actually really liking the idea of, and that is actually really not good banners for this counter, but I am liking the idea of potency on that gas. So just to stop that counter or potentially make it harder. Okay, so I decided that because they put this front wall, and you can see how many dispellable debuffs, so they're gaining offense through all this. But I decided that basically there's no way that this guy has SLKR in the back, or if he does, it's gonna be pretty much just garbage. So I'm gonna use my SLKR counter up here in the front, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna mark First Order TIE Pilot because he's got that Omicron, and because it's a unique Omicron, once he's dead, it's gone. And as you can see now, we are just trying to get through, and Sith Trooper is actually making us pay quite handsomely for the deaths. But overall, you know, hey, like, it's an Omicron. Like, this is a really strong squad, and there's probably other things that kill it, but it just made, I think, the most sense to me. That is like, hey, okay, so there's not gonna be SLKR counter. Let's just go ahead and not take any chances. And so I was hoping that this would call Bastila, so that way we could recover protection. But again, 63, so kind of an expensive team. But again, it's an Omicron, so I don't know if I feel bad for it. All right, so this is typically a good counter for this team. There is some added complexities, I will say, with having Boba Fett in here, and also the IG-88. Now Traya does a decent job. You can see why the complexities happen, but Traya does a decent job of you know, clearing debuffs for Sith, but doesn't do it for Barriss. So once Barriss goes in this counter, it can get a little dicey. So I decided to not do the AoE here because I didn't want to risk any counters or anything like that. Just get a little protection, and then we can do the AoE here and recover a lot of health. Like I said, once Xeris is gone, a lot of your passive re-healing is kind of gone. You need your characters now to take turns, and it's really just your Sith characters to take turns. So yeah. We are, so see, again, that can be a big hit. If that landed on, you know, I don't know, Scion, and he had maybe a buff or two, or a debuff, he hadn't taken his turn to let Traya cleanse, that could have been probably lights out for another one of my tanks. So I decided to go for Boba Fett here. I figure Dash is kind of controlled right now. He's got Isolate on him. He's already done like his big attacks. So I decided, like, hey, let's just kill Boba Fett. At that point, I felt like he was the one that had the most killing power. So yeah, I mean, this team I feel like did its job. You know, it ripped banners from me. This counter is never ever a high banner counter, but 58 is pretty low. So yeah. All right, so let's check out the back wall, and we have this just completely disgusting back wall. I mean, it's not the worst that I've ever seen, but I really wasn't expecting this. I didn't scout him at all, so I guess I should expect, you know, that he probably tricked some people in the first 2 rounds as well. And so let's check out the Datacrons, if I can click it right. Okay, so this I think is the best one for Lord Vader. Basically it just says that, like, hey, if they land X amount of debuffs, I think it's 4, they basically reset their turns, or their cooldowns, or maybe it's just by 1 or something. I forget the exact, I think there's like a percentage or something, but it's pretty crazy. And I think that one was just a stacking, when they get buffs, they get stacking offense. I did not check that one, but I remember stacking offense. I think it's the light side variant of what he put on Iden. Okay, so this is just a standard counter. It's been here for quite some time. They did the best opening that could be. Now, I didn't check his mods, but there's got to be quite a bit of tenacity on his characters, which is great. I mean, that's what you want on CLS. To stop this, but yeah, I decided to go and put extortion on him just to slow him down a little bit, and see if we can increase his cooldowns if we get the shot too. Doesn't look like we're going to though, with Newt. And again, it's just like I need to land more target locks at this point, and there's one more, but they're just really, they're hard to come by right now. So I didn't even get the stun there. Yeah, this is overall not the best of examples of this counter for sure. I want to get target lock on CLS.
My goodness, your skills are...
Get the AoE, and that can be a scary AoE as well. And if we can get target lock on 3PO and Chewie, that would be great. Alright, there it is. Alright, so now we've got the 5 target locks. All the AoEs mean that we're just going to feed turn meter. See if we get the stun. We did get the stun. Now that he doesn't have... Now he's in this different stance. And then we want to go for 3PO and Chewie because obviously the stat share is happening. Okay. And again, he doesn't have extortion anymore, so we're not going to call to assist, but we did increase his cooldown, so if he does come out of stun, he can't just get out of that and start resisting everything again, which is nice. But I think it's over here. Yeah, more AoE and it's done. So a little bit short on banners for that one, but not bad. Okay, so I don't have a great Wampa, but I did put the Omicron on him, and he is Relic 7. So I decide, hey, this Omicron, you know, it's got a little bit of health, and it's got some tenacity. And I thought that was, you know, a decent thing. I wasn't afraid at first because the relic levels, but then I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's a decent amount of potency. Even with the, I think 100% that Wampa gains, So I'm just checking there. So that Datacron only added 1,200 health. But again, it gets multiplied and it helps you out with your protection up. So who knows, any little bit helps, I guess. But yeah, guys, if you can land some potency on Iden and you're already loading her with potency, you could theoretically start locking a lot of people out with their Wampa counter. Now, granted, your opponent might, load their Wampa with tenacity and have a decent Datacron. That's just me going through my roster wondering, do I really want to do this? But the math is going to check out. And again, I'm just making sure. Yep. So 100% tenacity. So I was like, all right, cool. Didn't misremember that. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a long battle. So we can talk a little bit more. And I really want, if you guys could, again, in your comments, let me know what you guys are thinking. What are you guys thinking with Datacrons? I have a feeling right now, I'm just gonna say this, I'm not the biggest fan of them. I don't necessarily dislike them, but what I will say about them is that they seem totally unnecessary, right? For what the game was, where it was kind of going and what was happening in the game, they feel totally unnecessary. I feel like they could have did about 300 different things that would have benefited the game more than adding Datacrons. And I think I know why. I mean, I think it's going to be a strong monetization tool for them in the future, especially with it changing every 3 months. So it's gonna be something that you're constantly working on. I think my biggest thing against, well, not my biggest thing against them, my biggest reason against why I don't know if that's going to work is because mods are kind of already that, and a ton of people, like a lot of people, don't pay attention to mods. And mods are permanent, so yeah, like I don't know, I just struggle seeing, I guess, where this is gonna really take off, I guess. Granted, I know that a ton of people will, the very small amount that spends a ton in this game, they will definitely go all in, and I think that's probably who CG is marketing to at this point in the game's life cycle. They are really marketing towards the people that, for lack of a better word, like that they know is going to be the guys that spend money, right? Like there are people out there that won't spend a dime on this game. And why would CG, I guess, create something for them, if that makes sense? Other than, just like us saying, oh, you should do it for us because we're awesome. Unfortunately, that being awesome doesn't, pay the bills for them. So I guess in that regard, I understand it. But yeah, this seems like totally unnecessary. And so yeah, that's just sort of my initial thoughts on it, but we'll see. Again, I want to make sure that I give it my entire, I'm going to be very open about it, I guess, or very open-minded, I should say. And I guess that's my thoughts, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts as we watch this ridiculous match of Wampa just destroying all these people. That last hit was almost for 200k, so that's pretty cool. All right, so 68 banners there. So, this one's funny. So I've done this counter, gosh, probably 40 or 50 times at this point. Normally for 64, 65 banners. But for whatever reason, today I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something cute. I'm going to not do that move, and I'm just going to do a basic. And then I start to do other things. Like, I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't we attack Malik? And the moral of the story is, guys, just stick to what you know with the counter. Now, it doesn't, you know, I don't, like I said, I try to stun Malik. I didn't check his tenacity before this. So I don't know if that was just a lucky resist or what, but I just wasn't thinking. I was like, oh yeah, let's just try to stun him. So now everything's thrown out of whack. And we almost lose Aurra. Again, not a huge problem. I used to do this counter when she was like gear 10. And we'd lose her every single time. But yeah, there was just no reason to. We clearly had the upper advantage, and I don't know why we tried to finesse the counter any more than what we needed to. But yeah, that's just the moral of the story. Just play the counter as it should. And then, yeah, now that I think about it, we couldn't even stun anyways because Revan doesn't allow anyone to stun. So yeah, I don't know why we try to do that. Just heat of the moment, just decided, hey, let's try something different. But yeah, I think it ends up costing me an additional banner. So I think I get like a 63 or 62 or something like that. But yeah, just don't do it, guys. That's the moral of the story. And then we'll just finish up Malik here. Nothing too crazy about this counter. Let's see. I don't know if there was anything else I wanted to talk about while some of these more monotonous battles went on, I guess. Like I said, this isn't anything new, but this guy had good modding. He knew what he was doing. Obviously he made it to, you know, I think right now we're fighting for like 300. And like I said, he's fighting from a GP, you know, he's sub 9 million. So he definitely knows what he's doing. And I think that double GL in the back, not just that it's double GL, but that it's like two of the strongest GLs in the back, throws people off. Yeah, so I got a 63 there. That counter really should be a 64 or 65 when you play it right. I think I already said this, guys, but I'm a little bit sick, so I'm sorry that you guys have to. If you can pick up on it, I'm sorry that you've had to listen to it. But I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and yeah, I know, like I said, it's been a while since I've posted anything, so I do plan on returning. It's just gonna be, like I said, once this move and stuff gets situated. So I decided to take in imps here, and I really wanted to reset cooldowns. This is a decently common team now. The big deal is that Queel can be pretty fast, and under Jango lead, because it's just scoundrels, you know, he gains some additional speed. So what I did there was just some turn meter gains, so that way when we did get the recall to Dark Trooper that we knew for sure we were gonna kill Bam, and apparently everyone else too, just one-shotting with Dark Trooper. Dark Trooper is actually another one. I used to have him at R8, and then the nerf hitting happened. They put him back to 5, right? And just as things have kind of gotten, you know, the increase in relics, he's just another guy where it's just like, there are times where he's so close to killing. I wish that he would just that additional relic level is going to make him hit those 4 times a little bit harder. So that was I just wanted to check his ships. He's got, I think, what I consider to be the hardest defensive lineup, right? Being Executor, Negotiator, and Empire. It could be either or, really. So this is a very finesse counter. It's very kind of, I won't say RNG, but it is kind of. So especially with Mason here, it's a little bit safer, but there's some differences here. So you saw that I put tank tech here on armor because I knew Mace was going to get called in first to assist. So that means that he's going to ability block whoever he is. And this is a very common thing to do actually in territory wars. It's a very common counter to full banner another JMK is to bring in Mace. So I was struggling there. I didn't know if I should res or put the health tech on to C. So I resed. I don't know if that was right or wrong, but we did get our 3 stacks there, which is what you want. And now I'll just respawn my brute. And I want to get the deceived out there, right? So there it goes. Now we want to get health tech, right? Because they're about to start hitting underneath protection. And remember, this is got that Datacron where these guys are hitting, like, for every buff or something like that they get, they're gonna gain offense. So I was really afraid for this counter, because a lot of times you barely hang on. So yeah, luckily though, things actually seem to be pretty good. Like, we've ulted, and this is like the key part right here. You ult, and this is the biggest thing that I was going for. I wanted to ult and just make sure that cat is dead, because from here there is options to clean up, right? So now they're going after Wat Tambor. He took his hits, so he's helped out C a lot, except for now I remember thinking, well, great, that sucks because I don't have my health tech. So there is no re-healing at this point other than, you know, the Mando, the Beskar armor. So at this point, I really don't know if I should be hitting JMK because I don't want him countering me. Especially with no re-heal on the actual health pool. So they're, you know, they're out of ult form, so, you know, they would have to hit through my protection first, right now. But yeah, I'm just really, I guess, kind of playing just trying to play my cards right here, because I have actually gotten it to this point and still lost. Because yeah, this team is very, very difficult to beat, especially once they ult, because they just start hitting underneath protection, and that is quite literally in this game a cheat code. And now it's a Datacron, so yeah, it's excellent. Okay, so we get the second ult off, we can fry there, and I'm feeling a lot safer now. I think I misplay here. They land healing immunity on me and I don't relink. Or that's what it is. I relink right here, and he's about to put healing immunity on me, so it's gonna stick for 2 turns. Oh, I guess not. I thought I could have sworn. Maybe it was another time. But at this point, we really do want JMK's protection gone, so I guess let him hit away. Okay, so it's gone. And there's the heal immunity. And I don't have a relink, which is usually the problem. And then I thought, well, why did I do that? I should have relinked, so that way I got rid of it, but it's fine. At this point, I really was just looking at the time, and I was like, oh, okay, we got to get going. So I could have probably, you know, finagled it to get the heal immunity off, and that ultimate would have re-healed C for the additional banner, but hey, what can I say? I buckled under the pressure. Okay, so this is a pretty standard matchup. It really just depends on how many stuns land and when they land and who they're landed by. So I know I just said a ton of stuff, but yeah. Very weird to see someone at this level, quite honestly. Like I said, I think I started this grouping in the top 600. And I think by the time we're fighting, you know, we're the top 300. So very weird to see someone this high up, with non 7-star cam. Yeah, so I mean, kudos to him. I also do think that there is probably, I don't know if I'd classify it as a dying player base or just a shrinking player base that cares about GAC. So yeah, so this is my Datacron. I don't have any tanks because I don't ever plan on using JMK versus Lord Vader. I've always planned on using him in a mirror if I have to use him in that kind of regard. And so I don't have a tank, and my Datacron for him at this point, I have since I guess re-rolled it. But at this point, it's pretty much garbage. Like, it really is. So we're lucky he goes all in on Kenobi. Or JMK, I should say. Not that there's another Kenobi here. But remember that this is the one where when they start landing debuffs, basically they are going to cool down, reduce themselves. So it's a big deal, especially on this team. There's a lot of debuffs on this team. So yeah, very interesting one. And I do think that this one is the best in this set for Vader. I can speak from personal terms, like this can get really, really hairy. And you'll see later on in this battle, actually, that it gets... Yeah, there are definitely some times where you're wondering, yeah, is this going to work? Yeah, he just keeps throwing that AoE at certain points. I think it'll be after this ultimate. So I get the ultimate because I was like, I need to get those debuffs off me and kill somebody, and preferably it being Maul. And typically after you kill Maul, you'll go after Lord Vader. With this Datacron, I really think that it's probably better to just kill all sides. So that way, if he is ulting multiple times, it's just his own mastery that he's gaining. So right now, he's gaining Darth Vader's as well, and himself. But I feel like, yeah, with the amount that you're about to see, you'll see it. You'll see how many times that this really does go crazy. So now I want to get rid of Darth Vader because honestly, yeah. And I even go ahead and heal him because he's healing so much from the dots. I just wanted to make sure he dies. And yeah, that's just the big concern, is that we'll cooldown reduce him so much, or he'll cooldown reduce himself so much that he'll just sit there and re-ult multiple times, because that middle ability will be ready to go more than it should be, or more than we're used to. And at this point, that's 60% ult. All right, so there's one there. So I go ahead and throw that off. I think he's about to hit us with another one. Okay, maybe not. So yeah, so see how he's faulted again. This is why I didn't want to mess around too much. So yeah, I think you'll see me just go straight for the kill. And luckily we got it as, hey, R2. I guess you don't need a tank. But yeah, my future one, it's my future Datacron for JMK is a lot better. Okay, so ships, guys, I don't know if I'm going to actually play through ships. It's pretty standard. I did First Order versus their Executor. I don't know if there's really too many learning points here. Yeah, I think I'm going to fast forward through ships, guys, and cut it out because, yeah, I don't think there was too much to be learned here. and it'll shorten the video by quite a bit. It's getting shorter by like 20 minutes, or close to. So yeah, I guess we'll fast forward to the final score. Okay, so fast forward here, 72 on their negotiator, and we end up with a 1798. So good game to Trulon. Not sure, you know, if it's gonna be a win or not, but guys, thanks so much for watching the video. And like I said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully we can start pumping some of these out more consistently.